Think of Chapter 2 as if you are building a legal case before a jury. Now, who is the jury in this situation? The jury is your dissertation committee. These are the individuals who will determine whether your study has sufficient scholarly merit to move forward. When an attorney enters a courtroom, they do not simply make claims and expect the jury to believe them. Every claim must be supported by evidence. Every argument must be substantiated. Every conclusion must be backed by facts. The same principle applies to Chapter 2. As a doctoral researcher, you cannot simply say there is a problem. You must prove that the problem exists. You cannot simply say teachers lack training. You must provide evidence from peer-reviewed studies demonstrating that teacher training remains a challenge within the context of your research topic. You cannot simply say principals struggle with implementation. You must present findings from scholarly literature, showing that previous researchers have identified similar concerns. This is why peer-reviewed research becomes your evidence. Imagine your committee asks, "How do you know this problem exists?" Your answer cannot be based on personal experience. Your answer cannot be based on assumptions. Your answer cannot be based on opinions. Your answer must come from the scholarly literature. For example, suppose your study examines principals' perceptions of inclusive education. You may locate multiple peer-reviewed studies indicating that principals face challenges related to staffing shortages, inadequate professional development, limited funding, and insufficient support services. When several researchers across multiple studies report similar findings, you begin building evidence that the problem is real and worthy of investigation. This is exactly what Chapter 2 is designed to accomplish. You are gathering evidence from the literature and presenting it in a logical, organized, and scholarly manner. Now, many doctoral students make a critical mistake. They believe their job is to collect articles and summarize them one by one. That is not building a case. That is merely reporting information. Building a case requires synthesis. Synthesis means examining multiple studies and identifying patterns, trends, similarities, differences, and gaps. For instance, if 5 studies report that principal leadership influences successful inclusion practices, your responsibility is not to summarize each study separately. Instead, your responsibility is to explain what those 5 studies collectively tell us about leadership and inclusion. That collective interpretation is what demonstrates doctoral-level thinking. As you move through Chapter 2, remember that every paragraph should contribute evidence to your overall argument. By the time your committee reaches the end of Chapter 2, they should be convinced that your research problem exists, that the literature supports its significance, and that a meaningful gap remains that justifies your study. That is why Chapter 2 is often described as the foundation of the dissertation. If the foundation is weak, the remaining chapters become difficult to defend. If the foundation is strong, the rest of the dissertation becomes much easier to construct because your study is already grounded in scholarly evidence. Before we conclude today's lecture, I want to encourage those of you who may need additional support with your dissertation journey. While these videos are designed to guide you through the dissertation process step by step, I understand that every doctoral study is unique, and some students benefit from individualized support. If you would like one-on-one dissertation coaching, assistance with Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, research methodology, data analysis, APA formatting, proposal development, or dissertation completion strategies, I invite you to connect with me. You can visit my Beacon page using the link provided in the video description to learn more about available coaching services, doctoral resources, and academic support opportunities. You may also contact me directly by email if you have questions regarding your dissertation, doctoral study, capstone project, thesis, or research project. Remember, earning a doctorate is not a journey you have to navigate alone. Sometimes a single coaching session can provide the clarity needed to move forward with confidence. Thank you for joining today's lecture. I look forward to seeing you in our next class session as we continue building our dissertation. Subscribe, like, and share. Good luck.